Every morning when you open your eyes, your body is giving you another chance, but most people unknowingly waste this chance. 87% of adults over 60 make 3 critical mistakes in their morning routines. And these mistakes are silently paving a path from heart attacks to strokes, bone fractures to sudden death. What's shocking is this: these habits seem so innocent that even doctors often forget to ask their patients about them for years. A 2024 study conducted at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine found that correcting these 3 morning habits reduced the risk of sudden death in individuals over 60 by an astounding 61%. Researchers followed 12,000 people for 8 years. The results were so striking that the study was repeated 3 times. Each time the same truth emerged: the first hour of your morning is more important than the rest of your day. But here's the real question: why aren't doctors sharing something so simple with their patients? The answer is complex. Because medical education focuses on treating diseases, not preventing them. And these 3 habits touch on the multi-million-dollar industries of pharmaceutical companies. If people start living their mornings correctly, they might not need certain medications. What I'm about to tell you could fundamentally change your decades-old morning routine. Some of you will feel uncomfortable when you hear this information, because you may have been doing it wrong for years. But relax. Your body is incredibly resilient. The changes you start today will begin making a difference tomorrow. So what are these 3 deadly morning habits, and why isn't anyone talking about them? Let's begin. But first, a warning. The 3rd habit is probably something you're doing right now, and after learning about it, you'll never start your morning the same way again. Habit #3. Taking morning medications immediately. Margaret is a 68-year-old retired teacher. The first thing she does when her alarm goes off every morning is reach for the pill box on her nightstand: blood pressure medication, cholesterol pill, blood thinner. She swallows them all with a sip of water, then moves on to breakfast. She thinks she's being health conscious, following her doctor's instructions to the letter. But there's something Margaret doesn't know. And this thing she doesn't know is slowly killing her. When you wake up in the morning, something extraordinary happens in your body. Your blood circulation, which has been in a horizontal position all night, suddenly shifts to a vertical position. Your heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, your kidneys become active, your stomach acid changes. This is a moment when your body experiences waking shock. And right at this moment, many people swallow their most powerful medications. Here's the problem: medications taken on an empty stomach are absorbed much faster than expected. This causes sudden concentration spikes in the bloodstream. This can be particularly dangerous for blood pressure medications, because in the morning, your body is already naturally raising blood pressure. When you add the sudden effect of medication on top of that, blood pressure can drop dangerously low. Dr. Sarah Chen from Stanford University's Geriatrics Department revealed a surprising finding in her study published in 2023. The risk of falls is 43% higher in individuals over 60 who take morning medications on an empty stomach. Why? Because the medication effect peaks too quickly, blood pressure drops suddenly, and the brain doesn't receive enough oxygen. When a person stands up, they can experience dizziness, imbalance, or even fainting. But this isn't limited to blood pressure medications. Cholesterol medications, when taken on an empty stomach, put more strain on the liver. Blood thinners, when taken on an empty stomach in the morning, can irritate the stomach lining. And aspirin. Taking aspirin first thing in the morning increases the risk of stomach bleeding by 38%. Millions of people like Margaret take what their doctors call morning medications literally in the first minutes of the morning. But what doctors actually mean is after breakfast. However, this detail often gets lost. So what should you do? First, wake up. Sit in bed for 10-15 minutes. Allow your body's blood circulation to balance. Then get up, drink a glass of water. Consume a small amount of food: a banana, a slice of bread, a few almonds will do. Then take your medications. This simple change balances medication absorption, prevents sudden blood pressure drops, and reduces the risk of stomach irritation. A 2024 Mayo Clinic study confirms this. Elderly people who took medications 30 minutes after breakfast experienced a 67% reduction in morning dizziness complaints. Emergency room visits related to falls dropped by 52%, and medication side effects, especially stomach problems, decreased by 41%. But Margaret's story doesn't end here, because there's another habit she does in the morning, and this might be the most dangerous of the three. Habit hash 2, getting up without movement in the morning. Robert is 72 years old, a retired engineer. Every morning he wakes up at 7 o'clock. The alarm goes off. He immediately jumps out of bed, goes straight to the bathroom. From there to the coffee maker, makes his coffee, gets his newspaper, sits in his chair, spends the first 2 hours motionless. This is his routine. It's been like this for 40 years. But there's something Robert doesn't know. At night when he sleeps, his muscles shorten, his joints stiffen, blood circulation slows down. When he gets up in the morning, his body is in a cold and frozen state, like a machine. And right at this moment, he starts daily activities without any warm-up movements. This innocent-seeming habit is actually an assault on the body. In your joints that remain motionless throughout the night, the natural lubricant called synovial fluid decreases. This fluid is like oil that prevents friction in your joints. When you get up in the morning, your joints are deprived of this fluid. Sudden movements directly damage joint cartilage. This damage, which seems like just a few minutes a day, accumulates over years. The result, osteoarthritis, chronic knee pain, hip problems. But the real danger is elsewhere. Blood clotting. Your blood, which has been in a horizontal position all night, can accumulate in your legs and hips. This accumulated blood can form small clots. When you suddenly get up and move in the morning, these clots break loose and enter the bloodstream. If they go to the lungs, pulmonary embolism. If they go to the brain, stroke. If they go to the heart attack. Frightening? Yes, but real. Researchers from University College London made a surprising finding in their study, published in 2023. The risk of heart attack is 39% higher in elderly people who sit or remain motionless in the first 30 minutes of the morning without doing any stretching movements. Especially between 6 o'clock to 10 a.m. is already the riskiest time period because your body is releasing stress hormones, cortisol, blood becomes stickier. When you add immobility on top of that, the risk multiplies. Robert doesn't know this, but his body knows. His knees hurt. He feels stiffness in the mornings. Occasionally he has tingling in his legs. When he tells his doctor, the doctor says it's part of aging, but it's not. These are consequences of the wrong morning routine. So what should you do? As soon as you wake up in the morning, stay in bed for 2 minutes. Slowly move your arms and legs. Rotate your ankles. Pull your knees towards your chest. Release, then get out of bed slowly. When you get up, do simple stretching movements for 5 minutes. Raise your arms up, open them to the sides. Bend forward, maybe touch your toes. Do a light knee bend. It's that simple. A study conducted in Japan confirms this. Elderly people who practiced the morning gymnastics program called Radio Taiso reported a 58% reduction in joint pain, a 44% decrease in fall frequency, and a 71% increase in morning energy levels. The program lasts only 3 minutes and 15 seconds. When Robert made this change, 3 weeks later he noticed his knee pain had decreased by 60%. He felt more energetic in the mornings. Most importantly, that morning stiffness he always felt had disappeared. But there's still one more habit, and this is perhaps the most insidious one, because most people think it's healthy. Habit hash 1, skipping or doing breakfast wrong. Linda is 65 years old, a health-conscious woman. She pays attention to weight control. In the mornings, she drinks tea, maybe eats a fruit. I have a light breakfast, she says, but she's not actually having breakfast. Her stomach stays empty until noon. She's been doing this for years, and every morning she wakes up a little more tired. What Linda doesn't realize is this: skipping breakfast or having an inadequate one is an insidious killer for the elderly. Throughout the night, your body goes 8-10 hours without food. During this time, your blood sugar drops, your liver depletes glycogen stores, your muscles start breaking down protein for energy. When you wake up in the morning, your body is in starvation mode. Your metabolism has slowed down. Cortisol levels are high. Right at this moment, what your body needs most is fuel. But Linda only drinks a cup of tea and eats an apple. Her body responds with panic. Because the body after 60 is not like a young body. When you're young and skip breakfast, the body draws energy from reserve stores. But as you age, these stores diminish. Your muscle mass is low. Your metabolism is slow. When you skip breakfast, the body produces energy by burning protein from muscles. So every morning you skip breakfast, you're losing a little more muscle. This is called sarcopenia, muscle wasting, and this is one of the biggest causes of disability, falls, fractures, and premature death in the elderly. A 2024 Harvard Medical School study proved this. Individuals over 60 who had a protein-rich, balanced breakfast preserved 47% more muscle mass over a 5-year period compared to those who skipped breakfast. Fall risk was 38% lower. They performed 29% better on cognitive function tests. But it's not limited to muscle loss. Not having breakfast in the morning leads to blood sugar imbalance. Overeating at lunch, sudden spike in blood sugar followed by a sudden drop. These fluctuations lead to insulin resistance. And insulin resistance opens the door to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, even Alzheimer's. A study published in the European Heart Journal showed that coronary artery disease risk increased by 87% in individuals over 60 who regularly skipped breakfast. Why? Because morning fasting increases blood pressure, accelerates blood clotting, triggers inflammation in the arteries. Linda doesn't know this, but she's getting weaker every day. Not from fat, but from muscle. Her hands tremble. She gets tired climbing stairs. Her forgetfulness is increasing. All seem like innocent signs of aging, but they're not. These are consequences of the wrong morning routine. So what is the right breakfast? Protein. That's the key word. You should have at least 20-30 grams of protein in your morning breakfast. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cheese, hazelnuts, almonds. In addition to these, complex carbohydrates, oats, whole wheat bread, and healthy fats. Avocado, olive oil, walnuts. This combination balances blood sugar, triggers muscle synthesis, provides satiety, keeps energy levels stable. In a study conducted at Tufts University, elderly people who had a protein-rich breakfast showed a 3.2% increase in muscle mass within 12 weeks. Morning energy levels increased by 68%. Overeating behavior at lunch and dinner decreased by 52%. When Linda made this change, her life changed. The first week, she didn't feel hungry in the mornings. The second week, she noticed she wasn't out of breath climbing stairs. By the fourth week, friends said, "You look more energetic." By the sixth week, her doctor measured the increase in muscle mass and shook his head in amazement. Why are such simple things so effective? That's the real question. Why do such simple changes make such a big difference? The answer lies in the cumulative nature of your body. When you're young, the body compensates for your mistakes. If you take medications at the wrong time, nothing happens. If you don't stretch in the morning, you don't feel anything. If you skip breakfast, you make it to lunch, because your body has reserve capacity. But after 60, this reserve capacity is depleted. Every small mistake has direct consequences. If medication timing is wrong, blood pressure drops. If you don't stretch in the morning, joints wear out. If breakfast is skipped, muscles waste away. And these mistakes are cumulative. One day, 1 week, you might not notice, but 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, that's when you notice. But it might be too late. A long-term study by the National Institute on Aging proved this. 20,000 elderly individuals followed for 15 years. Those who did their morning routines correctly lived an average of 7 years longer than those who didn't. Not just 7 years, but a better quality 7 years. Independent, energetic, fit. And here's the best part. It's never too late. Even if you're 75 today and have been doing it wrong for 40 years, you can start changing tomorrow. The body has an incredible ability to adapt. When you give it the right signals, it starts renewing itself. A 2023 Cleveland Clinic study confirms this. Individuals aged 70-85 showed measurable improvements in just 8 weeks when they corrected their morning routines. Muscle mass increased, blood pressure balanced, sleep quality improved, energy levels rose. So what should you do now? When you wake up tomorrow morning, do this. First 15 minutes. Sit in bed, take deep breaths for 2-3 minutes. Slowly stretch your arms and legs. Get up slowly, find your balance. Next 15 minutes. Drink a glass of water. Consume a light snack, banana, almonds, yogurt. Do simple stretching movements, 5 minutes. Breakfast. Prepare a protein-rich, balanced meal. Aim for at least 20 grams of protein. Add complex carbohydrates and healthy fats. Medications. Take 30 minutes after breakfast. Swallow with plenty of water. Optimize timing by consulting your doctor. It's that simple. Does it require extra time? No. Extra money? No. Just awareness, just intention, just a little discipline. Margaret, Robert, and Linda did it. Their lives changed. You can do it too. One final truth. Your morning routine sets the tone for your day, but more importantly, it determines the quality of your life. Life after 60 is not a marathon. Every day is a new race, and how you start this race in the morning affects how you'll finish it in the evening. These 3 habits seem innocent, but they're not. They're silent killers, slowly, imperceptibly consuming you from the inside. But the good news is, now you know. Now you're empowered. Now you can make a choice. When you wake up tomorrow morning, remember your body is giving you another chance. Don't waste this chance. Now I want to ask you, which of these 3 habits are you doing? Do you immediately swallow your morning medications? Do you get up motionless? Do you skip breakfast? Write in the comments section, which habit will you change first? Share your experiences. Let's learn from each other. And if this video added value to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, because every week we share life-saving information for individuals over 60 like you. Remember, it's never too late, but being early is always better. Healthy mornings bring healthy lifespans. See you soon.